Hello everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Godzilla fan Jurassiczilla here. And in this video, we're going to be talking about something more on the sad side. We are going to be talking about Anguirus' origin in the Monsterverse. Now if you guys don't know, Anguirus, I guess you could say, technically is in the Monsterverse. Even though he was in there as an Easter egg, he's still technically there. So I'm going to be talking about his sad story and how he sadly passed away. I'm Jurassiczilla, and let's get right into the video, shall we? So if we go all the way back to Godzilla King of the Monsters in 2019, if you look in Godzilla's lair, right after Serizawa blew up Godzilla's home, you can see a skeleton there. Lighten up the picture a bit, and it actually looks like an Anguirus skeleton. And you might think, oh, that's not Anguirus, that's just a monster that looks like him. Well, the official director of Godzilla King of the Monsters said that this may or may not be an Anguirus skeleton. So they simply are implying that this is an Anguirus skeleton, but they didn't buy the rights to Anguirus, so they couldn't technically say it's Anguirus. So let's answer these questions. How did Anguirus die? Why is he still laying in Godzilla's lair? We're going to be answering those questions right now. As you can see, he is a skeleton, so that means he's been dead for a pretty long time now. And Godzilla just kind of left him in his home. Why would he do something like that? Why wouldn't he get rid of the body? This actually tells us that Godzilla and Anguirus had a very good relationship. But first, let's talk about who Anguirus even is. Anguirus actually appeared back in 1955 in the second ever Godzilla movie, Godzilla Raids Again, and where he was Godzilla's first ever enemy that he has ever fought. Godzilla and Anguirus both fought in that movie. But later down the road during the Showa movies, they became really good friends. Some may even say that Anguirus is Godzilla's best friend, alongside Mothra. So now that we know who Anguirus is, let's talk about him in the Monsterverse. So let's talk about who killed Anguirus. Now there are many possibilities of how Anguirus could die, many different ways, but the way I think is rather two options. Rather Ghidorah or the Kong species. I also could see the Mutos being possible, but I don't really see how the Mutos could kill with something with so much armor, so I'm going to include them out. Godzilla has had many ancient battles in the past, like when he fought Ghidorah and when he fought the Kongs. So, it would kind of make sense that Ghidorah or the Kong species were the one that actually killed Anguirus in Godzilla's home, and Godzilla was super mad, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Godzilla hates Ghidorah or the Kong so much, because they killed his best friend. And you might be thinking, well, why would Ghidorah be going underwater, or the Kong species, because Godzilla's temple is underwater? Well, you gotta remember, millions or even thousands of years ago, that place wasn't underwater, because humans were the one who built it. Ancient people built Godzilla's temple, and Godzilla just lived there, and over time it ended up filling up with water, and Godzilla can stay there because he can breathe underwater. Or I suppose it's possible that Ghidorah or the Kongs could have just went through one of the Hollow Earth tunnels to get to the temple, but either way works. But anyways, Godzilla, Anguirus, and maybe even Mothra were probably the main three. Godzilla and Mothra were probably in love. and then Godzilla and Anguirus were probably just best friends. Think of Anguirus as kind of like a sidekick or something like that. So it seems like rather Ghidorah or the Kong species, let's go with Ghidorah for example, came in on Godzilla, attacked Godzilla, and killed Anguirus in the process, and then possibly retreated away, and then eventually Godzilla went, fought him in Antarctica, and then froze him. Or you can say the Kongs came in and attacked Godzilla and killed Anguirus in the process. But the more I say it, the more I'm leaning towards it's actually Ghidorah, the one who killed Anguirus. Because it just makes sense. Ghidorah would probably go to Godzilla and try to fight him, while the Kong species might not try to mess with Godzilla too much. So how did Anguirus die? Well, rather one of two options. One, maybe Ghidorah just shot his gravity beams at Anguirus and he couldn't take it and then just died. Or option two, what I think is a good option, maybe Godzilla's temple, thousands of years ago, wasn't underground and it was above ground. And maybe when Ghidorah fought Anguirus, maybe all he did was just pick up Anguirus, drop him to the ground, just like he did with Godzilla in King of the Monsters. As we know, Anguirus cannot fly. He doesn't have any wings, he doesn't have any gliding abilities, so he just simply died. Godzilla was most likely very angry. Godzilla and Anguirus were best friends. They probably fought each other in the past, and that's how they became friends. And then all of a sudden, he dies, and Godzilla only has Mothra left. And that's why Anguirus' skeleton is still there. Godzilla honored him. He loved him as a best friend, so he had to keep him in his temple near him. So yeah, that's how Anguirus died. He was just in his temple with Godzilla. Ghidorah comes out of nowhere to fight Godzilla. Anguirus dies in the process by being dropped from like 1,000 feet or something like that. And then Godzilla is left there lonely with nobody else. But remember, this is all just a theory. None of this could be true because technically the Anguirus skeleton was only in there as an Easter egg, not technically Anguirus. But they meant it to be Anguirus. So, it's still technically canon if you count that. His best friend Anguirus left and dropped from Ghidorah, and his skeleton remains there at his temple. Well, until Serizawa blew the whole thing up. Now his skeleton is probably disintegrated. But anyways, what do you guys think? Do you think this is possibly how Anguirus died in the Monsterverse? Do you think we'll ever see Anguirus again in the Monsterverse? Personally, I'm really, really, really hoping to see him in some of these upcoming movies. Rather if that's the Godzilla TV show, Kong anime series, or the actual movie coming out 2024. I really hope to see him. He was one of Godzilla's best friends, and it would be so awesome to see Godzilla and Anguirus taking on someone like Gigan, kind of like how they did in Godzilla vs. Gigan back in 1972. But as always, leave your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of these types of videos, and as always, have a great Godzilla day! I'm so sorry Anguirus you had to die. I really hope you come back, dude. You're so awesome.